She said, "He has a BMW and takes me to real restaurants. You're fine for paying bills, but not for being seen with." So I quietly canceled everything and moved cities. Now she's bankrupt, he's married, and I won't even read her messages. Hey, before we move on to the video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Thanks. I need to get this off my chest because it still feels surreal, even 2 years later. I'm 29 now, but this story starts when I was 27. I was dating Melissa for 3 years. Looking back, I can see all the red flags I ignored, but when you're in love, you rationalize everything. Melissa was gorgeous, the kind of woman who turned heads when she walked into a room. Long blonde hair, perfect smile, and this way of making you feel like the luckiest guy alive when she gave you attention. She was also finding herself professionally, which apparently meant trying out different careers every 6 months while I covered her expenses. I was working as a project manager for a construction company, making decent money but nothing spectacular. Around $75,000 a year in a mid-sized city. Enough to live comfortably, but Melissa had expensive tastes. She moved into my apartment after 6 months of dating. At first, it was supposed to be temporary while she saved money. Then she started the massage therapy program. "Baby, this is it," she said, eyes bright with excitement. "I can make so much money doing this. I just need to focus on school right now, you know? Once I graduate, I'll be making bank." So I paid rent, utilities, groceries, her car payment, insurance, even her phone bill. The massage therapy program lasted 4 months before she decided she didn't connect with the energy work aspect. Next came the real estate license. "This is different, Mike. I've got such a good personality for sales. My friend Jessica is making 6 figures. I just need to focus completely on studying for the exam." Another 8 months of me covering everything while she studied. She passed the exam but quit after 3 months. "The market is so competitive right now. I need to wait for the right opportunity." Then came the personal training certification. Then the online boutique that never sold anything. Then she wanted to become a yoga instructor. Each time, she had the same conversation with me. "I know I haven't been contributing financially, but I'm building something here. I'm investing in our future. You understand that, right? You believe in me." And I did. I loved her, and I wanted to support her dreams. My friends started making comments, but I shut them down. Love means supporting each other, right? The real red flag should have been how she acted in public. She was affectionate at home, but the moment we were around other people, especially her friends, I became invisible. She'd barely acknowledge me, and if someone asked about me, she'd give vague answers about my job like she was embarrassed. But the worst part was how she talked about other couples. "Did you see Jessica's engagement ring? God, David must have spent a fortune. Ugh, Sarah's always posting about these expensive vacations. Her boyfriend must be loaded. I wish we could go to places like that. I'd suggest weekend trips within our budget," but she'd wrinkle her nose. Maybe when things get better financially, she'd say, as if I wasn't the only one bringing in money. The beginning of the end started in March of last year. She'd been spending more time networking for her latest venture, some MLM skincare thing. She'd come home late, always on her phone, giggling at messages she wouldn't show me. "Who are you texting?" I asked one night after she'd been glued to her phone through dinner. "Just the girls from my skincare team." God, you're so paranoid. But her behavior kept getting weirder. New clothes that were way outside our budget. Expensive makeup. Getting her nails done weekly instead of monthly. "Where's the money coming from for all this?" I asked. "The skincare business is finally taking off. I told you it would work." Except I never saw any products, customers, or income statements. When I asked to see how the business was doing, she got defensive. "You don't trust me to handle my own business? That's pretty insulting, Mike." The truth came out in the most humiliating way possible. I was having lunch at this upscale restaurant downtown, a client meeting, when I saw her walk in. She was dressed to the nines in an outfit I'd never seen before, laughing and touching the arm of some guy in an expensive suit. They were clearly on a date. My stomach dropped, but I told myself there had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a business meeting. Maybe it was her cousin or something. I watched them for 20 minutes. The way she touched his hand, leaned in close, played with her hair, this was definitely not business. I paid my check and left without confronting them. I needed to think. That night, she came home around 10 p.m., which was becoming normal. "How was your day?" I asked, keeping my voice neutral. "Good. Just working on the skincare stuff." Had some meetings downtown. Oh yeah? How'd they go? Really well. I think we're going to see some big growth soon. She was lying to my face. I felt sick. I didn't say anything that night. Or the next day. I started paying attention to everything. Her schedule, her clothes, her mood. She was definitely seeing someone else. The confrontation happened on a Thursday night. She'd been out until midnight the night before, claiming she was at a skincare party that ran late. I'd had enough. Melissa, we need to talk. She was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. What about? I saw you at Romano's yesterday. With a man. She didn't even have the decency to look surprised. Just annoyed. So? I'm allowed to have business meetings. That wasn't a business meeting, and we both know it. She sighed like I was being unreasonable. Fine. Yes, I've been seeing someone else. Just like that. No apology, no explanation. Like she was telling me she'd picked up milk from the store. For how long? Does it matter? Look, Mike, you're a great guy, but what? She set down her phone and looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Cold. Almost cruel. You're just safe. Boring. Marcus has a BMW and takes me to real restaurants. He travels for work, stays in nice hotels. When I'm with him, I feel like I'm living the life I'm supposed to have. I've been supporting you for 3 years, and I appreciate that. I really do. But that's just it. You're fine for paying bills, but not for being seen with. Marcus makes me feel beautiful and desired. With you, I feel like I'm settling. The words hit like a physical blow. 3 years of love, support, sacrifice, and she saw me as a bank account with benefits. So what happens now? I asked. I think it's best if I move in with Marcus. This has been coming for a while. We're just in different places in our lives. When? This weekend. I've already started moving some stuff. That's when it clicked. The new clothes, the expensive habits. Marcus had been funding her lifestyle while I was still paying her basic expenses. She'd been double dipping. Have you been spending his money while I pay your bills? She had the audacity to look offended. It's not like that. What's it like then? Marcus likes to spoil me. That's what men do when they're actually attracted to someone. I felt like I was looking at a complete stranger. How had I not seen this side of her? I'll need you to pay me back for pay you back. She laughed. Actually laughed. Mike, that's not how relationships work. You don't keep tabs on every little thing. Every little thing? I've paid your rent, car payment, insurance, food, utilities for 3 years while you've found yourself. I never asked you to do that. You literally asked me to do exactly that. Multiple times. Well, you offered. And now you're being petty about it because things didn't work out. That's really unattractive. I stared at her, realizing that nothing I said was going to make her acknowledge what she'd done. In her mind, she was the victim here. You're right, I said quietly. I should have seen this coming. She softened a little, maybe thinking she'd won. Look, we can still be friends. You're not a bad guy, Mike. You're just not the right guy for me. When are you moving out? Marcus is helping me move on Saturday. You'll probably be at work anyway. That night, while she was at a skincare meeting, I started making calls. First, I called the insurance company and removed her from my car insurance. Then I called the phone company and took her line off my plan. I called the utility companies and made sure only my name was on the accounts. I couldn't remove her from the lease without 60 days notice, but I could stop paying for everything else immediately. Friday morning, I got up early and went to work. I submitted a request for a transfer to our Dallas office, something I'd been considering for career growth anyway. My boss said they'd been wanting someone with my experience down there, and if I was serious, they could fast-track it. How soon could you start? He asked. 2 weeks. When I got home that evening, Melissa was packing boxes in the bedroom. How was work? She asked, like nothing had changed. Good. I'm transferring to Dallas. I'll be moving in 2 weeks. She stopped packing. Dallas? Why? Better opportunity. Promotion, actually. What about the apartment? I'm breaking the lease. You'll need to figure out your own living situation. But I thought I had until the end of the month. You do. But I won't be paying rent here after I leave. For the first time, she looked concerned. Mike, that's not fair. I need time to figure things out. You've had 3 years to figure things out. And now you have Marcus. She was quiet for a moment. This feels really vindictive. It's not vindictive. It's just practical. I can't afford to pay rent on 2 places. Can't Marcus help you out? The question was so absurd I almost laughed. No, Melissa. Marcus can't help me out. Saturday morning, I made sure I was at the gym when she moved out. I didn't want to see Marcus, and I didn't want to deal with any more drama. When I came home, she was gone. No note, no goodbye. She'd taken her stuff and left my spare key on the kitchen counter. I felt relieved. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt like I could breathe. The next 2 weeks flew by. I sold furniture, packed up my life, and prepared for Dallas. A few mutual friends reached out, having heard through the grapevine that we'd broken up. "Dude, I'm sorry," my friend Jake said. "But honestly, some of us were wondering when you'd figure out she was using you. Why didn't anyone say anything? Would you have listened?" He was right. I wouldn't have. I moved to Dallas on a Friday. My new job was great. Better pay, better opportunities, and I was far enough away from all the memories and mutual friends. I threw myself into work and started rebuilding my life. For 6 months, I didn't hear from Melissa at all. I'd blocked her on social media immediately after she moved out, so I had no idea what was happening in her life. I didn't want to know. Then the text started. The first one came on a Tuesday in December. "Hey, hope you're doing well in Dallas. Can we talk?" I deleted it without responding. A few days later, "Mike, I know you're probably still upset, but I'd really like to clear the air. Can you call me?" Delete. Then, "I heard you got promoted. I'm really happy for you. You deserve it." Delete. By January, they were coming daily. "I miss talking to you. Things didn't work out the way I expected. I think I made a mistake. Can we at least be friends?" I never responded to any of them. In February, she started calling. I'd changed my number, but she somehow got the new one. I let them all go to voicemail and deleted them without listening. Then she found me on LinkedIn and started messaging me there. "Mike, please just talk to me for 5 minutes. I need to explain some things." I blocked her there too. The breaking point came in March, almost a year after she'd moved out. I was home for a long weekend, visiting my parents and catching up with old friends. Jake had invited me to his birthday party at a bar downtown. I was having a great time, catching up with people I hadn't seen in months, when I felt a tap on my shoulder. "Mike." I turned around, and there she was. She looked rough, thinner than I remembered, tired around the eyes, and wearing clothes I recognized from when we were together. "Melissa, can we talk? Please? Just for a few minutes." Every conversation in our group stopped. Everyone was watching to see what would happen. "I don't think that's a good idea. Please. I came here specifically to find you. I've been trying to reach you for months." Against my better judgment, I followed her to a quieter corner of the bar. "You look good," she said. "Dallas must be treating you well. What do you want, Melissa?" I want to apologize. And to explain what happened. "You already explained. You found someone who could give you a better lifestyle." She looked down at her hands. "It wasn't that simple. It seemed pretty simple to me. Marcus, he wasn't who I thought he was." I waited for her to continue. "He was married. His wife found out about us in June. She showed up at my apartment, and it was really ugly. He chose his family, obviously. I'm sorry that happened to you. The skincare business was fake too. It was just a way for him to meet women. I lost all the money I put into it. That sucks." She looked at me like she was expecting more of a reaction. "I had to move back with my parents. I'm working at Target now, trying to save up for my own place." "Okay. Mike, I realize I treated you terribly. I was selfish and cruel, and I'm so sorry. You were the best thing in my life, and I threw it away for someone who was just using me. I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, no pity. Just emptiness. I appreciate the apology. Is there any chance we could try again? I know I have a lot to make up for, but I've learned so much about myself, and no. Please, just think about it. I know you loved me. That doesn't just disappear." You're right. It doesn't just disappear. But it did disappear. Gradually, over the past year. What if I moved to Dallas? I could get a job there, and we could start fresh. "Melissa, I'm seeing someone." Her face crumpled. "Seriously. Her name is Emma. She's a veterinarian. We've been together for 4 months. 4 months isn't that long. You barely know her. I know she's never asked me to pay for anything. I know she's proud to be seen with me. I know she's never made me feel like I wasn't good enough. I can change. I know I screwed up, but people change, Mike. I believe people can change. But I also believe some things can't be fixed once they're broken. So that's it. 3 years together, and you won't even give me a chance to make it right? You had 3 years to make it right. You chose not to." She started crying. Real tears, not the manipulative kind I'd seen before. I love you, Mike. I know I didn't show it, but I do love you. Maybe you do. But love isn't enough when there's no respect. I respect you now. I understand what I lost. You respect the idea of financial security. You respect not having to work at Target. But you don't respect me as a person, Melissa. If you did, you never would have treated me the way you did. She wiped her eyes. What can I do to prove that I've changed? Nothing. Because you shouldn't have to prove it to me. You should have changed because it was the right thing to do, not because you want something from me. So you're just going to throw away everything we had? You threw it away. I'm just not picking it up. I started to walk back to my friends, but she grabbed my arm. She'll never love you like I do. I looked at her hand on my arm, then back at her face. You're right. She'll never love me like you do. She'll love me better. I gently removed her hand and walked away. She didn't follow me. Jake found me a few minutes later. You okay, man? Yeah, I'm good. She's been asking about you, for months. People have been telling her you moved on, but I don't think she believed it until tonight. Well, now she knows. I flew back to Dallas the next day and told Emma about the encounter. She listened without judgment, then hugged me. That must have been hard, she said. Not as hard as I thought it would be. Do you think she's really changed? Maybe, but it doesn't matter. That chapter of my life is over. That was 8 months ago. I haven't heard from Melissa since. Jake told me she moved to another state, which is probably for the best. Emma and I got engaged last month. She's everything Melissa wasn't. Independent, supportive, genuine. She makes me want to be better, not because I'm not good enough, but because she deserves the best version of me. Sometimes people ask if I feel bad about how things ended with Melissa. The truth is, I don't feel anything about it anymore. She was a lesson I needed to learn about self-respect and knowing my worth. I'm grateful for what happened in a weird way. If she hadn't left me for Marcus, I might have spent years more trying to make it work with someone who fundamentally didn't value me. Instead, I found someone who does. The last time I thought about Melissa was when Emma and I were looking at wedding venues. One of them was the same upscale restaurant where I'd first seen her with Marcus. Emma noticed I seemed distracted and asked if everything was okay. Just remembering something that happened here once, I said. Good memory or bad memory? Bad at the time, but it led to good things. She squeezed my hand. Want to look somewhere else? No. This place is perfect. Because it was. Not despite my history there, but because of it. That restaurant was where my old life ended and my new one began. It seemed fitting that it might be where Emma and I celebrate the start of our marriage. Sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you turns out to be the best thing. Melissa did me a favor by showing me who she really was. I just wish it hadn't taken me 3 years to see it. But I see it now. And I'll never unsee it again. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button.